The following is a presentation of BiGGs Media Services.
Go for warmth. Go for beauty. Go for a show. Go for flavor. Go for perspective. Go for love. Go for tranquility. Go for thrills. Go for color. Go for good. Go for Puerto Rico. Go now.
For more information, the website is discoverpuertorico.com.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, proud PGA member. Patriot Golf Day has raised over $50 million to provide educational scholarships to our military families. This Labor Day weekend, September 3rd through the 7th, play your most heroic round benefiting two great organizations, the Folds of Honor and PGA Hope. Visit patriotgolfday.com to find a participating course near you. This is your call to duty.
BiGGs Golf Talk is presented by the U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Handmade Vodka. You must be 21 years of age to enjoy a great Tito's beverage, and friends don't let friends drive drunk. BGT also sponsored in part by ShotScope, Data is Power, Encore Golf, Photo Ball Marker, McNally 22, Ready Putt, Zalease, CBD for golfers, Scorpion 21, Feel the Sting, The Distance Shoe, SQAIRZ Shoes, Proof, Not Promise, UFO Tour Golf, and Golf Knickers. Connect with BiGGs Golf Talk on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Golf Bald. Subscribe with us on YouTube. We're in iTunes. We're available in the Google Play Music Store, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices. Our website is www.biggsgolftalk.net or .com, BIGGS, golftalk.net or .com. I am Big John Quick. She is the golf diva, Amanda Robertson, and he is the golf father, Bill Cuevas. Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning! I'd like to announce to the world that we have a new co-host. It is Amanda Redhead Diva Robertson. Yay!
And she literally is a redhead. Her scalp and everything is red.
Everything, guys.
Red.
Okay, so you get these really great ideas in quarantine.
Was it a really great idea, though?
Well, here's the thing. I've dyed my hair pink before, but at that point in time, I had very, very blonde hair. So as you know, blonde hair holds color very well.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to see what I could do over brown hair and just have like a subtle shimmer pink. But it's more red than pink because of the dark hair underneath of it. So I kind of look like a Comic-Con character for sure. all the nerds are really gonna find me hot right now.
Superhero, she be super diva.
If you're a Comic-Con fan, her email address is amanda@biggsgolftalk.com.
Yes, send her your question. And for a signed photo,
send her a resume and your photo, a headshot, and
$100 for a photo.
What would you do on your first date with Amanda Robertson?
And you would have to teach me everything about Comic-Con because I know nothing. So
there you go.
So don't ask her any trivia questions because she will absolutely know zero.
You will be very
I like that. I like that idea. I don't know if Amanda would like that idea, but I think we should sell her off. What do you think?
Win a date with Amanda Robertson. We would have to send security.
Win a date, non-date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say
virtual. Win a Zoom date with Amanda Robertson.
Zoom date. Well, as long as my boyfriend can come along, I'm sure they won't mind.
But Craig won't mind.
Yeah, but Craig's too intimidating. We got. I mean, if he's not in the Zoom shot, I think we got a better chance of making it.
He's a big guy. We'll just tell him that his presence is here.
I don't think they're gonna want him in the Zoom shot either.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's all about the charity. Come on, man.
Speaking of charity, Bill and I would love to extend our gratitude and for their hospitality. We just got back from New Hampshire, spent some time with Bob Winskowitz, Brooke Emerson. What a great couple they are, and they really showed us some great hospitality, a great home. They opened their home to us. We went on the boat, and we shared some spirits.
Amazing dinners.
Yes, amazing. And breakfast, too.
Yes.
I never heard that breakfast before. Have you ever heard of breakfast before, Amanda?
Do you know what breakfast before is? Oh, my God.
It's delicious.
Is it amazing?
Oh, it was amazing.
I mean, you know what? It's rare to have a household where both partners can absolutely kill it in the kitchen. These
Yeah,
people
that's
are,
true.
oh, my goodness. Usually one cooks better than the other. I mean, they're an amazing team. And, you left out the word fellowship, Biggs,
yes,
because we had a fellowship there,
yes, we
man.
did.
I mean, we
well,
did a lot.
If I was not interrupted, I would have mentioned the fellowship. Yes.
Yeah, man, stop interrupting Biggs, man. Come on, man. Have some respect. It's the red hair, Biggs. It's the dye. It got into the brain. I read that on the comments of the box.
They can't see us, but they can hear us.
Yes.
Bill.
Exactly, yeah. But
well, we can fix that.
We could interrupting us.
We can mute him.
There we go. I took a screenshot, and I think we could put that on social media for them to see what you look like.
Absolutely. Can you just get Amanda by herself and like?
Oh, I could crop that. Yeah, I could crop that. Yeah. And
then she could show off her guns. You know what I mean?
I didn't. I missed it.
Back up.
I missed it. Do it one more time, Amanda. There we go.
Boom.
Coming.
Oh my goodness!
It didn't get it. No, it didn't get it. One more time, Amanda.
What are you trying to take a picture?
There we go.
Ooh.
All right, got it. All right, there we go.
Oh,
Screenshot of Amanda
blackmail
showing her guns.
me.
Yes, love live
like
radio.
I said when Amanda interrupted you, Biggs, I was talking about the fellowship that we had.
Jesus.
Because Amanda interrupts a lot, but the fellowship that we had out there was amazing. With both individually, together. Saying prayers together at the table. I mean, we got a lot of work accomplished. We still have a lot of work ahead, but I mean, it was
for those that don't know, Bob Winskowitz is the CEO of SQAIRZ Shoes, the distance shoe, and they have new colors coming out and you know some other stuff down the line. We can't talk about, but yeah.
Just stay tuned. New
Just stay
colors
tuned.
Are amazing. They're coming out this week. I'm still fighting for that color name of Billy Blue. I'm going to fight.
I don't know how they can improve on the perfect shoe, but somehow, some way, he showed us some future things, and they are improving on the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. I mean, and I just
and Amanda, can I just say you will be surprised on the female shoes?
Oh my God!
Oh
yes,
they
next level.
Next level.
We talk about all the stuff, the back stuff, the data and everything else, and women's shoes and how much women golfers are paying for shoes and stuff like that. I think SQAIRZ is going to knock it out the box, man. With the women, I mean, oh goodness. I mean, it is the distance shoe. It really is proven. The data proves that it's the distance shoe. And if anybody can pick up, 2-3 miles an hour in their swing speed, and their ball speed is giving them 15 feet, 5 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, whatever it is, it's incredible. Just by changing your shoes and being more grounded to the floor.
By the way, Bob is so generous. So we will be giving away and once the new shoes arrive, and I'm sure they're here by now by the time you hear this. Once the new shoes arrive, we're going to launch an online Instagram / Facebook contest only. All right. We haven't come up with the rules yet, but we will. Trust me.
Yeah. And
you will have a chance to win your very own new colored SQAIRZ shoes. So,
yes.
But you will love it, and they just look good. And also, if you're going to be participating on October 10th in the Folds of Honor New Mexico Patriot Shootout, we will be giving away a SQAIRZ package as a raffle prize. So, I just asked Robert about that. So,
I just want to throw out there, because we've actually spoken to some women they're wearing the men's shoes. So if you're a woman out there and you feel comfortable, because I know a lot of women,
and you know your men's shoes, size and your woman, as a
go
woman,
for it.
And there's some women that have wide feet,
Yeah.
So
but you don't even need wide feet.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, if you know that you wear men's, you can wear men's, because some of these shoes that they have, the men's, actually sometimes I like the women's shoes better than the men's shoes, the way they look. I just can't fit inside of them. Mm-hmm. But it's the same way for the women. If they like the shoe, they might want to try it, especially if they want to up their game a little bit. Can you imagine that? You get a pair of shoes and you pick up, 15 feet.
Well, I'm going to ask Amanda. We have a few minutes here before we, head into our first break. But Amanda, as an LPGA player, yes, you want to look good, but performance is number one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had really cute shoes that I've either been given or I've bought, and I wore them out on the golf course and was like, no go. They're and there's a few in my closet that I don't want to get rid of because they're brand new and they look awesome, but you literally can wear them for 10 minutes and they kill your feet. Yeah. So I'm all about comfort. It's a long day, and it's a long day of walking and standing, and I have extremely flat feet, so standing kills me already. So if I can find a shoe that supports that, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
You already found one. You just don't know it.
Yes.
But I don't know it yet because it didn't exist.
No, you didn't know, but they exist, and they're coming for a woman near you.
There's a lot of things coming with SQAIRZ Golf, just not the golf shoes, but they're going to be offering tips and everything else on their website. As a matter of fact, we have a guest that is going to be joining us here on BiGGs Golf Talk to talk about that, and he's a highly renowned instructor. So
yes.
He's
going to be awesome.
He's going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show. We have Amanda's On Par with Amanda, BiGGs Product of the Week, and much, much more right here on BiGGs Golf Talk. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back right after this.
Hey, everyone. BiGGs Golf Talk is now on iHeartRadio. Download the app for free or go to iHeart.com and search for BiGGs Golf Talk. Be sure to save us as a favorite so that you'll know when we're on. Join the millions of iHeartRadio listeners and listen to BiGGs Golf Talk. Golf Talk for golfers.
The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is searching for the country's best two-player teams to compete against International Field in the 54-hole Ryder Cup style event known as the International Kings Cup, played in honor of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer.
The sixth annual edition of the International Kings Cup will be contested in May 2021 at the Glasson Golf Club in Ireland.
The road to the Kings Cup begins with a national qualifier. Two-player teams compete in an 18-hole qualifier playing best ball using net scoring. The top 30% and ties at each qualifier will be invited to the USGC National Championship. Winning teams at national qualifiers have a chance to receive a free $950 team entry into the event.
With an open and a senior division, each having 4 flights, teams of all skill levels will compete for a spot on Team USA. The winning team from each flight at the United States Golf Challenge National Championship will be crowned and win the expense-paid trip to the Glasson Golf Club in Athlone, Ireland, as part of Team USA.
Do you have what it takes? For more information, the website is usgolfchallenge.com for all the details. That's usgolfchallenge.com.
This is a commercial for golfers. Take the next step to improving your game with ShotScope and discover your strengths and weaknesses. Analyze statistics on your clubs, tee shots, approaches, short game, and putting. ShotScope V2 is the golf watch that combines GPS distances with automatic performance tracking. Once you have it, you won't want to play around without it. Check out ShotScope.com to take your game to the next level.
Good morning, everyone. It is On Par with Amanda time, and thanks for tuning in. We love having you on here and listening in to BiGGs Golf Talk. This week is kind of juicy. We've had some pretty mellow stuff for the past couple weeks, but I had to get the one and only Big John quick. I'm still getting used to saying that last name. Big John Quick, welcome. And we have some really good tea to spill on the show today. How are you doing, sir?
I just got back from being out of town, and here in New Mexico, yes. You travel on an airplane, you come back, you must be quarantined for 14 days. So I'm actually quarantined. I'm between 3 rooms in the house here, and so I have some frustration I need to take out today. And when you told me about this story and we flipped a coin, I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready.
You're like, he was looking feisty when we were going over it in pre recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into it. So let me give you a little backstory, folks, if you did not catch it. So as you know, the U.S. Mid-Amateur Championship is going on. They play match play and they narrow it down until they get to one winner who gets an entry into the Masters at Augusta. What a cool experience. Now, for certain players, it's a great experience. And for other players, it is one to be remembered and not for a good reason. So Argentina is being represented by Mr. Segundo Pinto, and he makes it down to like the top 15, and he is playing. And his caddy, Mr. Brant Brewer, is a local caddy from Bend, Oregon for Bandon Dunes. So I've been there, you hire the local caddy because they're going to know all the tips and the tricks. He bends down in the bunker on 18. They're all tied. Caddy bends down to feel the sand and to test the lie in the sand bunker. What does this result in match play? You forfeit the hole. When it's the 18th hole, you lose the match. What in the world? Biggs, what are we talking about here? Who does this?
What I can't understand is, where does this caddy think he can do that? I mean, you especially, this is your course. This is a course that and to tell me this can't be the first time, and especially in an important match like this, that you've looped and you've experienced people in a sand trap. What do you think?
Yep.
And I happen to think, I'm going to throw a controversial thing out there. I think he threw this match to... like he got paid off by Daddy because Daddy is the one that called it in.
Yep, the dad. So for you viewers that didn't catch it, the dad of the other kid that was playing in the match, the opponent called in. The dad said, "Hey, he touched the sand." So the other kid wins by default.
So Tyler Strafasi was the opponent. And yes. Tyler is quoted to say, "I was reading my putt and saw him duck down. I didn't see him touch the sand, so I didn't think I was right to make a decision on it. But my dad saw it, and he's going to fight to death for me," Tyler Strafasi said. That just tells me, I'm wondering, at some point, did Dad grease this caddy's hand? And I'm just, that's just a controversial thing and a thought process because... I'm sorry, this guy's a local looper. He's a looper at this golf course.
I don't know. There's things that a caddy makes mistakes on. They sometimes give you the wrong yardage. They miscalculate. They pull the wrong club. They thought they grabbed your 8 when they grabbed your 9. Whatever. Those things genuinely happen.
Right.
But I have never in the history of golf heard of a professional caddy. I would classify him as a professional caddy. It's what he makes his living on at Bandon Dunes. How in the world does he touch the sand?
There's a 20-second clip, and this is so egregious that, I mean, he literally goes down there and puts his hand in the sand. And he's going legit. Back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it was intentional. So this wasn't, he was clearing away any kind of debris or anything like that. He literally put his fingers in the sand.
Yep, he did. And this is a problem because, so I get it. Mistakes happen in life and bad ones.
This is not a mistake.
Across the world. But one, I don't believe that this is a mistake. So either he was pissed off at his player or he was getting paid off. Something else that we don't know is going on. But on top of that, he denies it when the rules official comes over and says, hey, it's been reported that you've touched the sand. He says, no, I didn't.
Yeah, he also denied it.
I don't know what he was shocked that they came over to tell him when they have it on video.
Yeah.
That makes me not even like you even more.
Oh. And trust me, folks, if you head over to Bandon Dunes, put that name on your do not looper list.
He won't be looping.
Yeah, again, Brant Brewer is the caddy's name. Brant Brewer. Out there in Bend, and this guy is not going to be looping anywhere if people pay attention to this story.
No, 100%.
And the thing is too. Here's the other thing: if I am the golfer, if I'm Pinto, I'm suing the caddy.
I've talked to a lot of people about this. So, I've been in this situation. I've hired local caddies before. I've even fired local caddies during the round or after my first round of the tournament and said, your services are no longer needed. But this is, for Pinto to stay so composed.
Well, that interview by Pinto was class act.
Well, and that's the thing. He says, I don't know how you don't want to beat him up on the spot. Really, it would be really hard to stay composed.
I'd bury his ass right in the sand trap that he just touched. I'd dig a hole.
Pinto tells Golf Channel, he said, he didn't say anything, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. What happened, happened. He can say anything, but it won't change what happened. And that is true. It's not going to take it back, but man, screaming at him is going to make me feel a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A throat punch would make me feel a lot better.
It breaks my heart because here's why. The whole reason I moved from softball to golf, one of the main reasons, is I went from team sports my whole life to an independent sport where it was on me. I was good or I was bad, and no one else could dictate my outcome. But this changes it. Someone dictated Pinto's outcome.
Yeah.
That wasn't himself. That's so not okay. And what's sad is it might change his career forever. So he can't really do much about it at this point.
No, I don't think he can, and I just think he's doing a class act, and the way he approached it. I mean, I like you said, I don't think you and I have that kind of patience and that kind of tolerance to say, you know what, what's done is done. Like I said, if I'm Pinto, I'm suing this jackass. Excuse my language, but that's exactly what he is, and I can't help to think it comes right back to me. And sure, maybe it's a conspiracy mind of my own, but how can that caddy not know not to touch the sand with his?
I don't know.
He's
honestly,
not even cleaning. He's not even clearing any debris, and then he denies it.
I have to wonder if he was irritated with Pinto, or he was stoned and just lost his mind for a second. Which these things are possible, but they're not excusable. So I just am struggling so bad with this.
So being this the 18th hole, obviously the match is over. It was all squared up, and his opponent won the match because of the disqualification of the hole, forfeiture of the hole.
Yes.
But if this was, let's just say, hole 10, hole 12, hole 9, do you fire the caddy right in the midst of your championship?
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Get lost. Yep. Your services will no longer be needed.
Do not pass go. Do not collect the $100 I'm about to pay you.
No.
Get out of here.
Correct. Get out. Because I can't. One of the hardest things in golf, as we all know, is when you have a bad hole or a bad shot, to kind of get out of that and move on. So I can't move on if you're standing next to me, because every time I look at you, I remember that you cost me a hole.
Right. And as you can see, one hole could mean everything.
One hole,
especially in match play.
And so now his opponent goes on to the top 7 of match play, which, it's like you are inside the top 10 ranking in the world for the U.S. amateur. You are still on your way to try to get that master spot.
Yep.
Plus, how many endorsements are going to fall if you get to say you're inside the top 10? I'm in the top 10.
Yep.
I just, it's a big difference. You can't be like, oh, I'm 15th.
Right.
Like nobody cares. It's quite a big difference. And I just think overall, this is something I can't tolerate. I don't deal with this very well. And thank goodness Pinto was so classy. And
I hope he's rewarded for that at some point. We have seen classy people say classy things and get acknowledged for it. And in this instance, I hope the same thing happens to Pinto. I hope the Masters Committee, and if the Masters Committee is listening to this program, reach out to this kid and go see and hear what he had to say from the disqualification and the forfeiture of the hole. It was just totally a class act, and I think he's deserving of an exemption into the Masters because I think he was on his way to get there.
I know. My heart breaks for this guy. So, hopefully everybody rallies around him. And as far as Brant Brewer, we won't be seeing much of him. All right, folks, that is another week of On Par with Amanda. Thanks for tuning in. I love having you on and listening. Biggs, thanks so much for your juicy input this week.
Yes, thank you.
Guys, if you want to write into biggsgolftalk@gmail.com. Put On Par with Amanda in the subject title, or reach out to me on Instagram at @ARobertsonGolf. I love hearing from you, love getting your input, and let me know what you think about this. What would you have done in Pinto's place? All right, folks, thanks again, and until next week, keep swinging for par.
Hello, this is Santi Martinez from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you are listening to Biggs Golf Talk Podcast.
Having a corporate or charity golf event? Backswing Golf Events can supply your tournament with personable, professional golfers to entertain and fundraise on the golf course. They can accommodate any size group, whether it be 3 players to 500. They are your team. From range lessons, Beat the Pro, and Pro-Am style roaming, they're making lasting memories one swing at a time. So make sure to check out backswinggolfevents.com or call us direct at 661-316-3093 and book your pros now.
Golf is a dirty game. It's time to clean it up with Ready Pot, the only putter cover with a built-in ball cleaner and magnetic surface. Clean balls roll accurately, meaning you make more putts. Sink more, swear less. Clean up your game with Ready Pot.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, proud PGA member. Patriot Golf Day has raised over $50 million to provide educational scholarships to our military families. This Labor Day weekend, September 3rd through the 7th, play your most heroic round benefiting 2 great organizations, the Folds of Honor and PGA Hope. Visit patriotgolfday.com to find a participating course near you. This is your call to duty.
This segment is sponsored by GolfKnickers.com. They are the world's leading retailer of classic golf apparel. They specialize in their full line of men's plus 4s, or golf knickers as we know it. To complement the knickers, their company has a full line of matching socks, caps, and shirts, allowing them to deliver the complete outfit to their customers. And some of their customers include corporations, golf courses, school golf teams, tournaments, and avid golfers around the world. Listen, they are growing the game of golf by encouraging players to wear the game the way it was meant to be played, in golf knickers. They have golf knickers for the men's, ladies, and the youth. Head over to GolfKnickers.com, the world leader in traditional golf apparel. Welcome back to Biggs Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices. Big John Quick, along with the golf diva Amanda Robertson and Bill the Golf Father Cuevas. And this is a roundtable discussion and just some news and notes around the golfing world. Head over to BiggsGolfTalk.net or .com for the following stories. New Sun Mountain outerwear features a breakthrough insulation. Bill the Golf Father Cuevas and myself might be testing that out. Hanma's TR20B irons appeal to skilled players seeking next-level precision, feel, and feedback. Sky Golf launches the new SkyCaddy LX5 with the ceramic bezel GPS smartwatch. Bill the Golffather Quapis and I also will be testing that. Cleveland Golf introduces 2 additional putter lines. So for more information, head over to bigsgolftalk.net under press releases and read more information about those topics. Billy, I think you have something else there too, don't you?
On news? Absolutely. I got plenty of stuff on news. You want my news? My news is Mr. Charlie Woods, the son of Tiger Woods, just recently played in a 9-hole golf tournament. And guess who was his caddy? Tiger
Steve Williams.
Oh, yeah. And you know how they say the apple doesn't always fall? I don't like your answer. I don't like your attitude, mister. You're out of here. We're muting your mic. That happened to me before. I don't know if anybody knows, but my mic got muted before in the past interview on
pretty
ESPN.
great.
But anyway, Mr. Charlie Woods won by 5 strokes and shot 3 under on this 9-hole golf tournament. And of course, his dad, they talked to him afterwards, and he was just praising him how how it brought back memories and how he's going to have to live through Charlie, watching Charlie swing and how great, it is to watch him. I mean, we might have to wait maybe another, if he's playing that, maybe another 10 years or less. When Charlie's in that teenage, we can see the
let me just put this out there, because we have not yet seen a young gun take the torch. So Are we going to have to wait for Charlie Woods to take that torch?
Well, it's funny you say. The only person I think that's taken the torch from the past right now is Harold Varner III. He is doing really well for his legacy and his family. And I know he's not dominating, but he's a presence. He's there, up there every week after week after week.
And one upstanding dude, too. One upstanding dude.
Mm-hmm. He is truly amazing individual. I love listening to him talk. He's very humble, especially with everything that we got going on in this world right now. He's keeping it real. He's representing. He is, he is as close to what you are, asking that we could have, and waiting for Charlie to get to see if he's going to truly walk in his dad's steps, or maybe even be better. Can we say that? He could potentially be better than Tiger Woods was at his age.
So we had this conversation. Actually, I played golf yesterday and had this conversation on the golf course. But the other side to this is, because obviously he's got everything that he can possibly think of to help him and succeed, which, and rightly so. I hate people that criticize people for having the tools. Yeah. Like Cheyenne Woods, Tiger Woods' niece. Well, of course she's going to have a Nike sponsorship. Duh. Yeah, of course. She's but I can't fault her for that. That's awesome. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? I'd be at my uncle's house every minute. But with that, for Charlie, how does the pressure of trying to fill your dad's shoes, how do you get to a place where instead of trying to fill your dad's shoes, because that's a high praise to fill, but how do you mentally try to create a path for Charlie and not, I'm expected to be like my dad?
Well, this is why
that's a good point.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and this is why I probably don't agree with Tiger being on the bag and looping for his son, just on a purpose. I mean, look at Michelle Wee, and look at Lydia Ko, who had big time parent pressure, not just pressure of the professionalism of the background of golf, but had the parent pressure. And now your dad is Tiger Woods, and he's looping for you.
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, and looping for you. I mean, let me ask you this. If anyone else won that tournament, would they interview their caddy?
Absolutely not.
No. They don't give a crap about the caddy.
No, it was about Tiger Woods. I was just glad and surprised at the same token that they mentioned Charlie Woods first,
right?
As opposed to which I give them great credit for. The other article that I read, it says Tiger Woods' son, Charlie dominates, where others have read Charlie Wood dominates the golf, which I prefer.
I prefer that,
Charlie
right. And then later on in the
Right.
story, mentioned that that's Tiger Woods' son.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But make it about Charlie
I
Woods.
prefer
Now, if the interview should have been about Charlie
Yes.
first, and
Not Daddy,
talk to
yeah.
Charlie, and then
Mhm.
maybe possibly bring Dad in into the conversation. But there is no other tournament out there, no other junior tournament out there that's going to interview the caddy or the parent ahead of the
Right.
competitor.
Absolutely. I think you're right. But you know, when we were talking about it, I was thinking, who else did I see son playing? John Daly's
Yes.
kid. I
Mhm.
don't know if you see it.
He
Last
plays in
week-
all of those.
Yeah,
Right.
He is. I mean, he is booming. I'm watching that kid play. He's incredible. I mean, he's like a mini, John Daly. And I think the confidence that he has, he got it from his dad. He doesn't care. It's not about the name. He's a golfer,
Right.
and we may not have to wait as long as we think, Biggs. You know what I mean? I think we might wait for Charlie to dominate as well as Tigers did. But I think we have a couple of kids inside this stable of golf that are going to, they'll make a name for themselves, not because of who their dads are, but where the game is at. So, but I think Charlie has the potential right now, if he's playing the way he's playing, to actually, and I'm going to say it, he could potentially be better than Tiger.
You never know. I mean, because Tiger did
No.
suffer some injuries and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is that he took, some years off in his prime, and I mean, he was right on that path of breaking some records and, got injured and had to take a few years off and, come back. And, if Charlie can stay healthy, through his prime, I think you're right. I think he can be better than his dad, during that time. And Amanda, I know you wanted to say something.
No, I just think that, and I obviously Tiger must see this and must know this. But this is where I think a mental coach, not only for golf, but for being a golfer, following in the greatest of, like, I get it. John Daly's son is great, and John Daly is great. He's a class act, and we've all seen it, whatever. But Tiger is literally the greatest of all time. So, and I know some people would dispute that, but in my eyes, he is just the game of golf. And so I just think that these kids, as long as they're doing it because they love it and they have a passion for it, they won't have a problem in the future. And I think Charlie is, I mean, he just blew it out of the water. Like, no big deal.
Here's how the gauge is going as far as measuring the GOAT. Okay, in today's society, money driven. If tournaments could draw money, that's going to be the obviously a ticket seller. Yeah, you're going to want to see Charlie Woods perform and compete. Absolutely. Why? Because he's Tiger Woods' son. And that has something to say for what the ability that says what Tiger has done for the game of golf. You put Tiger in the field today. I don't care if you put Tiger in the field when he's 51 years old. He's going to sell tickets.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
So measuring the aspects of the greatest of all time, I think that has to be put on that thing. Just like if you have Arnold Palmer, you have Jack Nicklaus, you have Sam Snead. If you put those guys in a field, teeing off at the beginning of the Masters, I guarantee you there's going to be the biggest gallery in that tournament at the beginning to see three legends on the tee box.
Yep.
That's what it's
100%.
about. People want that. That's why when Tiger Woods shows up, they make money.
They make money. They
sell
tickets.
Before Corona, people want it, and they know when he backs out of a tournament. We've seen it here at Innisbrook. When he signed on, the media, we could barely get in. They micromanage everything we can get as soon as he signed on because we couldn't get in. There wasn't enough room. All the major media now wanted to step in and say, well, now we'll cover your event. But people like them, they make the fans thrive in golf. Yep. They want to see. I want to see it. I would love to see Tiger Woods play. I have not seen Tiger Woods play. I've seen a lot, but not Tiger Woods.
I have, and I'll tell you what, it is certainly a treat to watch Tiger Woods. Whether you like him or you hate him, and trust me, I know many media friends that hate Tiger Woods. Do I like the guy personally? No, I respect his craft. I respect what his skill level is. That's what I respect, because I have seen him play at Cog Hill. I have seen him do his thing, and what goes behind what he does on the golf course and the concentration of the focus he has on that golf course certainly has something to give back to the game. Personally, you don't have to like the guy, but you certainly have to respect him.
You got to respect him.
Sure.
And you know what? I'm sorry, Amanda, but you know what's going to be interesting? If he decided to join the Champions Tour. Do you know what he would do for that tour? Besides dominate it, the amount of money that he would bring in to that tour
for sure
would be incredible. Him or even Phil. If Phil decided to join, throw his hat inside
Phil will never play on the Champions Tour.
No, that's what I'm saying. If he had decided to. But I'm saying you get a caliber of those two in there at their age, forget about it. That tour is going to blow up. The crowd will blow up. He would take it. If they needed a poster child for it, he would be it. He's the one that would just make it invaluable. And he could still play on the PGA Tour, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. I think you can play in both, because you got those guys that are playing in both, certain events and stuff like that.
Fred Couples is one of those guys that he'll play in both events. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think that might be our future, man. We might be able to see it in that dominate a couple more. It'd be interesting.
Absolutely. Something that's keeping on my mind here is what Amanda and I talked about, and I'm par with Amanda, is that goofball caddy. Bill, you had a chance to listen to the topic, but so I actually want to get your feeling about that, before we, as we end here on the roundtable discussion, sponsored by golfknickers.com. But what is your thought about that guy, that caddy, who is a looper for Bandon, and you've been to Bandon Dunes?
Yes, and that was going to be my point. I've been to Bandon Dunes, and I've golfed most of the golf courses, and the caddies there have been top notch. You know what I mean? So I hope it doesn't tarnish it as a whole for Bandon Dunes. I did listen, I read the article, and I saw the news about it and videos and stuff like that. This guy was totally off. One, he denied what he did. He got called out by somebody else. I don't like all the circumstances. I'll be honest. There's a lot of things that I didn't like about it, but you know what? It goes back to the caddy, period. He should have never stuck his hand in there. He should have never denied it. Never should have denied it. And regardless of what I feel about who called the penalty, who did this, who did that, only thing that we can focus on right now is that ex-caddy. We probably can call him an ex-caddy, because I think his career in caddying,
his career is done.
What's the game of golf? It used to be a gentleman's game, but it's a game of honesty and integrity.
Yeah, and but how can you trust him out there?
Exactly. There is no honesty with him, and there was no integrity, because Pinto did a great job. You know what I mean? And that I hope that somebody steps up and they get him in and recognize what a class act and what he did. That's what golf's about. He didn't lose the match. His caddy lost the match for him. And it's a terrible way not to proceed, but karma always comes around. And I'm hoping that the good karma comes his way, and that Pinto, somebody steps up for that young man and says, hey, we recognize what happened to you, man. We're going to take care of you. Because there's always going to be an asterisk to why he lost.
So what about a solution? How do we resolve something like this, where it's not the golfer's fault and the golfer is using a house caddy? Is there something that the RNA and the USGA can place in the rules to say, okay, we will remove the caddy from competition, but we can't fault the golfer, but it's not the golfer's fault?
Well, you can, except in the rule book, it's like rule 12- whatever.
Right.
I saw it on there, but it states that a player is responsible for all caddy actions. And that is what the rule states. So we would have to change the rule, which we've done a million times in USGA history. Anyway, we just had the big rule changes, and some of the rules I thought were dumb. We've been over that. So if you can make a few of those dumb changes, then you definitely could alter, that you are not. What's terrible about this situation is he couldn't have fixed it. He couldn't have changed. Right. And he's also not the caddy. So now I have to babysit as a player.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, as a player, you're concentrating on yardage. You're concentrating on watching, looking at the shot, and everything around you. You're hoping you could trust the caddy to do his freaking job.
I would never think that I need to watch the caddy. And what's crazy, so when my dad caddies for me, my dad's a great caddy. He knows the rules. He knows what he's doing out there. And I still I'll look around every once in a while, or like, hey, like, don't step in their line or whatever. And we joke about it because my dad's like, I know golf. So I think it's an instinct, and probably being female too. I have a little bit of control issues. But with that, I've definitely tried. I've noticed that the more I relax out there and don't babysit and don't play that game of trying to pay attention to everything they're doing and focus on me, I play better. I don't want to have to babysit. And when you get a local caddy that you don't know and that trust isn't there yet, or that bond isn't there that I have with my dad or my other caddy, when you don't have that, it makes it really difficult to not want to babysit because you don't know what they're going to do, apparently.
Yeah. Billy, I put out there, and we have about 60 seconds here. I put out there a conspiracy. So I want to ask this question to you. Okay? Mm-hmm. I feel the caddy was paid off to sabotage the match. Because just the way he reached down and do that, he can't not know that he can't do that. He cannot know it. I mean, if you're a caddy at Bandon Dunes, that's a big deal. Big deal.
It's a very big deal, especially there, because I've spoken. I've had the pleasure, like I said, of playing there and talking with their caddies, which are the ones that I've been blessed to deal with. They have nothing but professional and class acts.
Oh, sure.
If he did it, and if your conspiracy is true, Biggs, he just committed golf suicide.
He's done.
He's golf suicide anyway. It's golf suicide anyway.
Done already.
Yeah.
He's done.
He was done. He was done when he denied it.
Yes.
That's when he was done. Not because of him doing it, when he denied it.
Because he just threw his character under a tractor.
Now I can't trust you.
No. Nobody's going to trust him. You can't say, oh, I forgot that I ran my fingers to the sand. There's no way. We saw what he did. You know what I mean?
I told Biggs he was either paid or he was stoned and had a blank out moment, or something was going on.
He was definitely not in his right mind. We're not on our right mind here on Biggs Golf Talk as we continue. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey, this is Boxer Shorts, and I've got some big news. Biggs Golf Talk is now on iHeartRadio. You can download their app for free or go to iHeart.com and search for Biggs Golf Talk. And make sure while you're there that you favorite us so that you'll know when we're on. Join all the other millions of listeners on iHeartRadio and listen to Biggs Golf Talk. We're the best. Right.
A golf ball that performs for you. The Encore Avant 55, hot off the tee, a formulated core that delivers more energy and utilizes soft cell technology to achieve ultra-low 55 compression. This blend of innovation and simplicity provides more distance and greater feel. The Caliber, maximum accuracy. A patent hollow metal core creates significant rifle spin while reducing side spin, allowing the ball to travel along a straighter trajectory. The Encore Elixir Tour Ball, hot list winner. The premium cast urethane cover delivers a soft and pure feel off the club face and gives the Elixir ultimate greenside control, durability, and unmatched putting performance. Be sure to check out their combo packages and sign up for the loyalty program. Gift cards are also available. For more information, their website is www.encoregolf.com. And be more with Encore.
Golf Dots is a unique, high-resolution ink transfer to personalize your golf game. Golf balls, golf shoes, clubs, Golf Dots can personalize it for you. Golf Dots conforms to USGA rules and doesn't alter the trajectory of your golf ball. Tour proven on all major tours, Golf Dots is designed and made in America. Many styles to choose from that will fit every golfer's personality. New styles are being released on a regular basis. To order your Golf Dots, visit www.golfdots.com and enter promo code BIGJOHN15, that's Big John, BIGGJON 15 for a discount on your Golf Dots. Golf Dots is available in many golf shops, such as the PGA Tour Superstore. The website for Golf Dots is www.golfdots.com. That is golf.dots.com, or call 847-829-4238. Personalize your golf game today with Golf Dots.
Go for warmth. Go for beauty. Go for a show. Go for flavor. Go for perspective. Go for love. Go for tranquility. Go for thrills. Go for color. Go for good. Go for Puerto Rico. Go now.
For more information, the website is discoverpuertorico.com.
Each hole is an opportunity, a chance for all to go right, to execute each shot perfectly and bring feelings of joy and delight.
One bird, one yellow word. I want just one bird. One bird, it is not absurd to want just one bird.
Been trying to crack the nut, cannot get all the shots to agree. Good drive, approach, then one putt. How hard can it really be?
One bird, one yellow word. I want just one bird. One bird, it is not absurd to want just one bird.
The drive was long, the approach stuck on the green in par -2. The long putt is well struck. It falls in the cup. Thank you.
One bird, I scream the word. I got one bird. One bird, it has just occurred. I got one bird.
Other three, the moment wipes out all the pain. Huge smile all the way to the next tee, where it's time to do it again.
One more bird, still want to yell the word. I want one more bird. One more bird, it is not absurd to want one more bird. One bird, oh one bird, oh one bird.
This is Big's Golf Talk with Big John Vick and Bill the Golf Father Cuevas.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices and your favorite podcast forum. Just search for Big's Golf Talk. This segment is sponsored by Scorpion21. Feel the sting with Scorpion21 at Scorpion21.com. You too can have your friends feel the sting when you wear Scorpion21. Bill the Golf Father Cuevas and Big John Quick back with you here on Big's Golf Talk. And we are going to be in Gaylord, Michigan on September the 4th at TreeTops Resort, broadcasting live from the 13th Annual Patriot Golf Day Shootout, an event that raises funds for the Folds of Honor Foundation, a charity that provides scholarships to families of the fallen and wounded. In addition to the great golf and great food, there will be paying tribute to those who have served and are serving, and you are guaranteed to leave inspired if you're live at that event, and we hope to inspire you on the airwaves when we go live from the TreeTops Resort. And Bill the Golf Father Cuevas, this is going to be our second time doing a show from this location, and each time I'm sure it's going to be a new inspiration.
Honestly, out of all the events that we do, that time was my favorite of all events. We got to meet most of the Bucklands, not all, but most. We added them to our extended family, which was a blessing. We learned what makes TreeTops different than the rest of the tournaments that we travel around the country. I love what they do. I have their stuff all over my office.
I do too. I have it on the wall back here and all. So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, because it's an incredible event. It's different. It's nothing like we do, and we do a lot. And this one is one of the most unique ones that I've ever done. And I'm looking really forward to going back because I know it's going to be better. And we're going to meet new people, which I love.
What I took from the first time we did it, and I agree with you, the Bucklands, they are the family that inspired Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney into starting the Folds of Honor Foundation. And so the child that they were talking about in the story and how it all got started, Jacob, we know him as Greenie.
Greenie, yep.
He
wore a dress with me.
Yeah.
We wore a dress together. How cool is that?
But meeting him was certainly a highlight and inspiration for me ever since I started to support the Folds of Honor.
Absolutely. It was his first event, which was amazing. He did a great job. Afterwards, we got to talk to his grandfather, and he had never done that. And we had Pete Buckland, his brother, and it's incredible, to be part of the first that they've ever talked about what they've talked about, and the family to say like, wow, that was impactful. You can't get better than that. That's priceless, man. It truly is priceless. I hope to meet the rest of them. We got to break bread with the parents and the mom.
We have some inside information that, a key aspect of the Buckland family is going to be there for the first time this year. But it's a 3-day event.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. And they do it in a unique way. I mean, we have been a part of Patriot shootouts across the country with the Folds of Honor, and this year they are introducing the Brock Buckland Cup that you and I will be competing for and bringing back to New Mexico.
Oh, we're bringing it back? Are we taking it away? Are you sure we're taking it away? I don't know, because the guy that's getting ready to talk, he's like shaking his head. He's like, no, you guys ain't taking that thing out of our state. But it's a good possibility. We could maybe possibly do it. I don't know if they're going to let us, but we might do it.
Let me introduce our guest here on Big's Golf Talk. He's a great friend of the show, and we certainly support what he does at TreeTops. Kevin McKinley is joining us here on Big's Golf Talk. Kevin, welcome into Big's Golf Talk, my friend.
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to be back.
Doing well. And I got to tell you, you do something very unique that I don't see any other Patriot shootout do, and you have a 3-day event which includes a Patriot shootout qualifier and then like a horse race format on a Patriot shootout. As a matter of fact, the last time we were there, one of our people that was in our foursome scored a hole-in-one that we were just like, oh my God. And,
dude, I think you cried.
Yeah, I did.
I think you cried.
I was like, wow, that was just fascinating.
I'm not going to say it, but I think you had water in your eyes when you saw it.
Yeah, because it was not me hitting that shot.
Exactly. And you didn't even hit it. You were crying with joy, and you screamed like a little girl. I was like, oh! I was like, oh, my goodness. It was like you got the hole in one.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that we got to see it. That was the best part, witnessing it. It was great.
But talk about
special.
Talk about the event. When did it all start for you? And I know it was like, 11 years ago, 10 years ago that this whole thing started for you with the Patriot shootout at TreeTops?
Yeah, seems only that far, but since it's the 13th annual, it was about 13 years
13
ago.
years. Yeah, that's, hello, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And it was just me sitting in a crowd at the PGA merchandise show, which actually doubled that year as the PGA annual meeting in Orlando. And that was the first year that Dan Rooney, the Patriot Golf Day had been born the previous year. And I had heard about it, and I was one of those guys that just kind of sat ajar on my counter and tried to get a buck from every golfer that played on Labor Day weekend. But it was January that following year that I heard Dan speak for the first time, and he talked about the Buckland family, and he talked about how his flight came into Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I just kind of had to do a double take. I mean, I was, how do you not get inspired by anything Dan Rooney's saying? But as soon as he talked about Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is about 40 minutes from where I grew up, my ears were perked up, and I left that show and left that annual meeting having a big desire to get in touch with the Buckland family. And so I went home and I drafted a letter to Dwayne and Dawn. Was trying to be as respectful as I possibly could. I actually put the letter in front of a few folks that I know from the military that I just wanted to make sure I was saying the right words. And lo and behold, Dwayne read the letter, and I got a phone call maybe a month later, and basically my letter just thanked them for their sacrifice, but also invited them to be honored guest at the very first Patriot Golf Day shootout that I was planning on doing. And all I did was I took an event that had already existed on Labor Day weekend, and it was starting to flounder a little bit, and I just changed it to Patriot Golf Day. And lo and behold, I just was floored when Buck called, and he and Don came up, and that was the start of a awesome relationship. I mean, you guys got the chance to meet all of my kids when you were up a few years ago, and
yep.
they're like not that Buck needs any more kids or grandkids, but they're sort of adopted kids to Buck. I mean, he just loves my kids, and they text all the time and communicate with each other.
Who doesn't love your kids?
Yeah. Your kids are phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, and not for nothing, I am their favorite radio host. You know what I mean? And they have no bounds about it. It's like, I'm your favorite. Yeah. I know I'm your favorite. You know what I mean? And that's what I meant. When we go up there, we're going to meet new family, because we're still in contact with all of them. I don't follow, just about no kids. I think your daughters are the only ones that are on my timeline. And Biggs knows I talk golf and God. That's me, my faith and everything else. So, I mean, I love the things that you can see how you have rubbed off on them. Your daughter posts everything about hope, charities, fundraising. She is an amazing child. Watching her, I'm like, a lot of kids should be inspired, what your children are doing. And it's all part of you. It's what you do. That's why you have an amazing event. Yours is unique. You have brought so many people together. And I tell you, I don't care. It is my favorite event. It's my favorite one.
It's a unique event, too, because what Kevin McKinley's doing is he's including active and retired military. Yes. And they do it at a different level. So they choose a financial commitment level to be able to be a part of this event. And if they raise $500, then you get at one level. At $750, you get another level. But then he opens it up to the public and non-military, and those levels at $1,000 and $1,250. So people raise that type of money, prior, then they get to be a part of this event. And I think that's a great way. Instead of charging an entry fee, here we are. if you raise this amount of money, and if it goes beyond that, that's great. But minimal amount of money, and you could be a big part of this event. And Kevin, what went into the thought process of doing it this way?
Yeah, so I wanted it to be free to the military. And they, they're more than welcome if there's somebody that wants to play in this event, and they look at that and they're not really into asking people for money or asking people for donations. First of all, they can pay it if they want to. They can pay it out of pocket, and it's a pretty nominal fee for what they actually get that weekend. But what went into the thought process is that I run a ton of charity events around here, and I knock on the doors of a lot of my local businesses. So there's other events other than Patriot Day that I knock on local businesses. And so I thought, why not put boots on the ground in all kinds of areas, all over Michigan. There's Patriots that come from out of state. And why not let them ask the people in their area for donations?
Yeah.
So it was to kind of be able to raise significant funds without having to always tap on the same businesses that I always tap on here locally. But B, the other part of it is that usually they don't stop when they get to 500, they get to 750, they get to 1,000, they get to 1,250. There are Patriots that have come that weekend and they've handed me $8,000. Wow. And so that's kind of, that was my vision for this. And it's actually worked out really, really well, where for the most part, these are people that are inspired as well. These are, it's not just me that's inspired. These people are inspired about what Folds of Honor is doing in the lives of their comrades. Basically, these are people that are in a boat that they could have been in, and they signed up to potentially be in the boat of who these scholarships are helping. And so who better to try to beat that drum and let them beat that drum in their own networks. And it's worked beautifully, and we have it dialed in and set up so that you can go to our website and you can find any name of any of these individuals that you want to support. And all that money, the more we raise, the more of a check we're going to be able to write to Folds of Honor Foundation.
Absolutely.
I think it's awesome. And the thing, you guys go directly to HQ. You go to Tulsa, correct? So, everything you raise doesn't stay within the Michigan. It disperses to the main folds.
A little bit of both. Little bit of both.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep. And
that's
so
unique too. Yeah.
Yeah. What we have, there are some people that are from the great state of Michigan that have said, hey, I would like whatever I raise to be able to go to Folds of Honor Michigan. Okay. But the chapters are set up that way anyway, to where, they meet the needs of the scholarships in Michigan. And then if there's leftovers, then it does go into the general fund with Folds of Honor, which is perfect. It's great. And so, we kind of, we'll sort of differentiate the donations. And so I might write 2 checks at the end of this, one to FOH Michigan and one to Folds of Honor National. So, and Yeah, you bet.
It's just a matter of 2 checks. But we love the fact that what you guys do. One of my favorite thing is when you put every fallen hero on and make a flag out of it, and you're right. And I've seen you do it when you go out there on the field and you're there doing what you do. It's incredible. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I know it's a good chance it's going to be different this year because of what we're going through in this world. And I hope you're not affected. I hope the money can be raised, but you guys are doing something in addition to it to help offset what you might not make during that tournament, correct?
Yeah. So there's going to be a smidge fewer participants this year. Just there are some out-of-state players that are just not going to be able to get here. There's a contingent from North Carolina that just isn't going to be able to get here. One from Missouri that's not going to be able to get here. So there's a little bit. I kind of looked at it a few months ago and thought, man, the donations might be down a little bit. One of the ways that some of my Patriots raise money is they run their own golf tournament in their own neck of the woods, and some of that had to go away. So I have a guy, he's a local, he's a retired Army Ranger, just an unbelievable guy. He's been a great fundraiser in the past. And I asked him, and I actually just did this. This is probably 2 weeks ago. I had this brainchild, and I asked him, hey, a couple days prior to Patriot Golf Day, so we're looking at Wednesday, September 2nd. How would you be interested in playing an 81-hole golf marathon with me? And 81 holes. Why that number? That's the number of holes that we have here at TreeTops. So we're going to play every single golf hole on Wednesday. He and I are going to play it in an alternate shot format. And right now on our website, again, you can go there and you can donate anywhere from, we got a $13 donation, or actually a $10, and I think it's 26 cents or something like that, which is 13 cents times 81 holes.
Yeah.
So whatever that amount is, that's the lowest that you can donate. And you can donate on up to, I think it's $1,053, which is $13 for every hole that we're going to play. So just anybody can donate, anybody can go to it. And I just wanted to do this to supplement what may be a down donation year. I hope not. I hope it's a banner year. But just in case it was going to be down, I wanted to step up to the plate as well. So
we got to give Eric a shout out. You said that Eric deserves a shout out. He's your partner in your format. Unfortunately, we wanted to get him on at the same time, but he was unavailable. And maybe one day after you guys compete in that 81, we can get both of you guys back on to get the results of how much money you raised for that. But I was reading your format, and me and my co-host over there, we've been talking about possibly doing an 100 hole fundraise, but we were trying to figure out how we're going to do it, how we can do this. And then I read your alternate shot format. And for us that we've never done it, I think that could work. So once we get from yours, we might be taking your idea.
We might be piggybacking what you're doing there, because I think that might save on our body a little bit.
Best form of flattery. So that's all, a lot I have. You're going to see one this year that you haven't seen called Stand to Honor. And I can get into that, but a lot of my ideas are borrowed idea. I mean, and that's how this network works. I mean, if you see something that's really cool at another event, then by all means, if that thing works, and usually how I do it is I morph it into what works for TreeTops. So for instance, you talked about the names being painted on the driving range. That was a idea that Carl Kimball had first, and he's out of North Carolina, and he does it on his 18th fairway. And I was kind of looking at, okay, we have 4 different 18th holes. So which 18th fairway do we do? And we got a lot of weird little elevation and stuff like that. So I was like, what about our range at the north? That's perfect. So a lot of these are morphed into ideas that I've seen. And Stand to Honor, it's gonna be really cool, guys.
We might take that one as well. We might do it because, like I
we actually already volunteered and put in our names to be a part of that. So we're looking forward to being a part of that. Yeah.
So this way, when we steal your idea, we're not, because we participated in the idea. So it's a little different.
They're all there for the taking. So
I think you guys are smart in how you're adapting to today's issues, to make it successful. I don't see how it can not be successful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Kevin McKinley, we have about 60 seconds here. First off, how is TreeTops holding up to the pandemic situation?
Yeah, really, really good. We listen to the CDC, we listen to our government, and are certainly trying to follow everything that has been laid out there for us. And it's rebounded extremely well. Golf is such a great social distancing game.
Naturally,
it just naturally is, and it's booming all over the place. So I'm really excited to see new golfers. Our junior program this year was the biggest that it ever has been. So it's been a little bit unexpected, but now that I'm kind of seeing that it's really the only game in town, this makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we want you guys to support and visit. It's a must destination for you for your golf game. TreeTops Resort, from celebrations to meetings to ski and snow, all the way up to golf. Give them a call at 866-348-5249, 866-348-5249, or visit their website at www.treetops.com. Kevin McKinley, thank you so much for joining us here on Biggs Golf Talk.
Thank you, gentlemen.
More Biggs Golf Talk coming your way right after this.
Hello, this is Santi Martinez from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you are listening to Biggs Golf Talk Podcast.
Still using an old golf GPS watch? It's time to upgrade to ShotScope. ShotScope isn't just a golf watch, it's a fully automated golf performance tracking system on your wrist. ShotScope gives you access to over 100 tour-level statistics. Get putting analysis, short game breakdown, even find out how far you're booming your driver. All data is captured automatically by the groundbreaking ShotScope golf performance tracking system. ShotScope, the ultimate golf watch. Find out more at shotscope.com.
You'll hit it squarer, sweeter, straighter, and longer. I love the look of them, and with the extra width, they're the most comfortable golf shoes I've ever worn. They're called SQAIRZ, and once you've played a round in them, you won't want to play another round in anything else. These completely new performance golf shoes will improve your stability and balance, and it's been proven in science. Balance equals power. There you go. To feel good and play my best, I wear SQAIRZ. Now you can wear them too. Just go to GetSQAIRZ.com to find out more. That's GetSQAIRZ.com.
Go for warmth. Go for beauty. Go for a show. Go for flavor. Go for perspective. Go for love. Go for tranquility. Go for thrills. Go for color. Go for good. Go for Puerto Rico. Go now.
For more information, the website is discoverpuertorico.com.
Golf talk for golfers on Biggs Golf Talk. Back to Bill the Golf Father Cuevas and Big John Vick.
This segment is sponsored by The Distance SQAIRZ Shoes. It's proof, not promise. Welcome back to Biggs Golf Talk here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all your Amazon devices. Big John Quick along with the Golf Father, Bill Cuevas, back with you. And yes, we are back from New Hampshire. We visited the SQAIRZ Shoes headquarters. And ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you right now that you guys are in for a treat on the direction that SQAIRZ Shoes is heading. I'll tell you what, man. They have the science behind the footwear that tells you that you could pick anywhere like 2.2 miles per hour on your swing just by wearing a pair of shoes. And not just any shoes, but SQAIRZ shoes. What happens when you pick up miles per hour on your swing speed? You get distance. So this shoe is considered a distance shoe, and I am proof of that with my golf swing. Right, Billy?
Absolutely agree 100%. You're more stable. We talked about it from the very first day on demo day during in Orlando during Orange County. That was our first stop, and it just happened to work out that way. And since then, you can see how you stay in the pocket. You don't actually fall down. You're not slipping out. You stay square. It's perfect.
My shots are straighter. They
are.
They really are.
That serious slice that you had disappeared because you're not falling out. You're not falling out of your shots anymore. You're actually staying upright, which was huge. That was one of the first things that we noticed, besides the fact that they were squaring up, when you were able to maintain yourself and keep yourself square to the shot.
Bill, the Golf Father Cuevas, and myself had the opportunity to check out the new colors that are coming out this week, as a matter of fact. And we're going to be hosting a Instagram/Facebook giveaway only. So you got to follow us on Instagram and follow us on Facebook, on our Facebook page at Biggs Golf Talk. Mm-hmm. And you can win a pair of new colors. Yeah, white and blue and gray on gray.
Billy blue. Billy blue. We're in negotiations to turn it to Billy blue. We can't have it blue. It has to be Billy blue.
Well, our next guest, SQAIRZ, the performance golf shoe that's proven to help golfers increase distance, announced a partnership agreement with the highly acclaimed golf instructor and best-selling author Nick Bradley. As a part of the partnership, Bradley, who has instructed more than 400 professional golfers and winners at all levels, including major champion Justin Rose, will develop and share weekly tips on SQAIRZ.com that focus on helping golfers improve their fundamentals. And he is with us on the Zoom line right now here on Biggs Golf Talk. And Mr. Bradley, Nick Bradley, welcome into Biggs Golf Talk, my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It's a pleasure.
First thing I want to say, Nick, before anything, besides it's hip to wear SQAIRZ, and we know that we're going for distance, we had the opportunity to golf with Mr. Robert, and he was working and stayed true to what you told him to do.
Good.
And can you help us? We need a lot of help because actually, it took a little bit for Bob to keep going and going. I would say around the 5th hole or 6th hole is when it started taking. And when it took, oh my goodness. I think he hit his 5-wood farther than everyone's driver. It was insane. And he's like, I got to stick with it. I was like, it's the shoes. Yeah. It's the shoes. He's like, no, it's Nick.
It's Nick and the shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. It's a combination of both.
We got the shoes, and now we got the Nick. So we got to put those together because we can't have him out driving us with a 5-wood. That's just not right. It's not good.
He's pretty pokey. He hits it a long way, Bob. I mean, he's got a lot of speed.
He really does it. I mean, and it's deceiving, the amount of speed that and the turn that he gets on it. I'm looking at him. I'm like, wow, it's incredible how far and the apex on that ball. It's like watching the guys on tour hit the height. It's incredible. I really enjoyed watching him play, but I enjoyed it more him struggling before, the Nick theory went into effect. And he's like, I'm going to stick with it. Keep going.
Uh-huh.
He was just, it was incredible watching him, get into, oh, yes, absolutely. Now, if he could only learn how to, putt, he'd be all right.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I'm afraid to. I haven't been there yet.
Hey, Nick, let me ask you first off, the partnership, what attracted you to become a partnership with SQAIRZ?
Yeah, so over 25 years, I've been coaching and mainly at an elite level, and I can tell you that I don't think there's been a player that I've had success with where I didn't go to the ground first and build the swing from the ground upwards. No matter what they're doing, with their grip or their backswing planes or their club face position or their shoulder planes or anything like that, all of that is totally irrelevant unless you have the footwork, the leg work, and the torso move functioning properly. It would be like the crass analogy of trying to fix the top of the, Empire State Building when, the first floor is not great. So when I started to see the information from Bob appear up on LinkedIn, it immediately caught my attention because of this was the first time that someone had actually drilled into the fact that your shoe wear should be more than just golf shoes. It should be equipment. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper and understood the science behind it. And then I contacted Bob and I said, look, I'm going to have to congratulate you for what you're doing for the game and what have you. And then, so he got in contact and we to create an agreement together. And I've been doing some of the social media, but behind the scenes, I'm really helping with getting science is science. There's very few people that can digest science and, understand it on a practical level. My role is to say, look, with these shoes, you can now perform A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z in your golf swing. And that's my role really, is to take all of that knowledge that I've accumulated over 25, 30 years and start to anyone who's a client or a customer of SQAIRZ or is interested, I can not only help you with your information and how you digest the science part of the shoes, but also I'm here to actually, now you've got these great shoes, let's teach you to use your legs and your feet properly, because everything else, unless that base fundamental is correct, is frankly irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. And they got the science behind it. Whether you understand it or not, data is data, facts are facts. We've seen it. We're lucky from the beginning that we've actually experienced it, with a simple change of the shoes. That's all I use now, where I used to, I was lazy. I'll admit it. I was lazy. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my hybrids on. I'm going to the golf course, but I'm a dew sweeper in Florida. So I would have to deal with the fact that my feet would get wet, which I absolutely do not like. I hate the fact that once they get wet, you go into a sand bunker, which I like in Florida. I like the sand for some reason. Now you got those clumpy things. Now they go inside your shoes. It just overall was bad. And then I ended up having to change my shoes at the end of the round anyway. So I was lazy. But now I go to the golf course with my SQAIRZ. I put them on. I take the time. And it's so much easier. I don't worry about getting wet. I don't worry about them slipping. I don't worry about comfort, because they cover it all. And the thing is, you do feel grounded. You really, truly do feel grounded to the grass, to the, whether it be the sand. It doesn't matter where you're at. You feel grounded. You don't feel like you're losing yourself. Because, if you try to overswing, what's going to happen? You fall out of your shot. My partner there, he tends sometimes to try to swing out of his shoes. But those things keep him in line. And watching him, that was the biggest testament for me. Watching him from where he was, or when he doesn't wear SQAIRZ, which I don't think he doesn't wear SQAIRZ anymore, to watching him wear them, he's picked up distance, he's picked up accuracy. Him falling out would cause that vicious slice. He doesn't fall out, so the slice is gone. So he's building a better foundation in his shot. And he picked up distance, which was huge. So I can't make fun of him about hitting his driver 75 yards.
I don't hit it as far as Bob Winskowitz, though. That's for sure.
Nobody's hitting it as far as Bob Winskowitz on our thing. But the shoes work, and to have people like you, and we, having the data and spreading that, you can see it everywhere. You're seeing it online. I see it, whether it be on a YouTube. Some of these guys are just posting, 2 miles an hour. You're talking about, ball speed picks up after that. So you're talking about maybe 5 yards. 5 yards is huge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They're like 5.
Well,
that's 15 feet.
If you consider the patents that they've got around the shoe, each of the patents is pushed to the limit. Like, there's no wiggle room now to bring out another shoe that maximizes the first patent, which is the sole design. And there's two big fallacies in shoe design, right? Number one is they've got to be light. Well, I can tell you, if you've got a light golf shoe, your stability is compromised, right? You're compromised, right? That's the science behind it, okay? Number two, the sole design, wider than any other sole. Your toes get to spread out, like a hand, like your hand spreading out, your finger spreading out. Well, that means that you've got more grip with the digits of your feet, right? And it means that it's more comfortable and you can get more pressure in the right places. Also, where the cleats are positioned. We know from the science that where SQAIRZ cleats are positioned in the extra ones. Now, we have to remember Ben Hogan, who had, for a man of 5'7.5", had tremendous dynamics and kinetic sequence in his golf swing, had to have a pair of shoes made by an English company called Maxwell with 2 more studs in than normal golf shoes would produce. We are doing that now because we recognize that where distance is a premium for both amateurs and professionals, you need the assistance from the ground upwards. So the sole design, by virtue of its width and its size and its weight, scientifically helps you. All of these, and I'm not being disparaging here, but all of these other golf shoes in the market with their injection molded sole design, and manufacturer, it's like putting a balloon on your feet and hoping the best, for your golf swing, or putting a pair of ice skates on. Literally, one of the first social media posts I did around SQAIRZ golf shoes was comparing your current golf shoes with a pair of ice skates because that is what they feel like when you put squares on. So there's the first pattern that they've to max is the sole design. The second pattern is the toe design with the squared off toe, which I have to tell you, I played when I was up in Boston last week. I was down in Newport, Rhode Island. I played Newport Country Club by my good friend Brad Faxon, and I haven't played for ages where I really had a card in my hand and I was taking it seriously. I hit the ball nice. I hit it good. I hit it good anyway. I've got a good swing. But I putted the lights out because what I did was I got my line on the ball and I got my break point and I got the club head behind the ball. I could look down at my toes and square off my stance so easily. Parallel left. Yeah. Whether you putt parallel left, shut or open, it matters not because you still need the feet essentially to be square in a line sense to the target line, whether it's open, closed. So, yeah, and then the laces. One of my pet hates even if I'm wearing regular shoes, is laces coming undone. And the design of the laces, have you noticed? They don't shift. They don't shift.
They don't. We talked about those little rubber pieces that they have on the laces. Once you tie them, they don't really. I haven't had, and Biggs knows, he used to have a lot of problems with the shoelaces coming undone. It's existent. It's non-existent, and it's one of the few shoes, besides having that technology in their shoelaces, that the tongue, the way it goes up, and as far as it goes up, you don't have to worry about the sand. You don't have to worry about the water or anything.
Trust me, I know about the sand. I tested the theory of the sand because I was in every single bunker at Innswich that they could possibly have, and I didn't have one bit of grain of sand in my shoe. I want to go back to something that Nick said because I find myself, now that I wear SQAIRZ shoes, there's a new thing to my pre-shot routine. The first thing I'm looking at is if I'm squared up. So it's so easy to see that with SQAIRZ shoes, where other shoes you can't really tell that. But with SQAIRZ shoes, you will see if you are squared up immediately. And that's what I like about that. And that's what Nick was talking about. Myself, that's something extra. That's the very first thing I see in my stance.
That was the first thing you said at the PGA show. When you put those shoes on, he's like, look, Billy, I'm squared. These shoes are helping me square. Yeah. And you were absolutely right, because we were sitting face to face across from on the putting green. Well, it was actually the demo day. So we were side to side watching each other. And I mean, you could see the perfect alignment. The only way you're going to mess up and not be square is if you don't want to be square.
Right.
That's the only time. If you want to hit your fade or whatever you want to do and you want to go a little bit off, that's the only time.
When you purposely want to position your foot to shape a shot, that's the only way.
Other than that, I don't know how anybody cannot see not being squared, because it is so easy. It helps even with your shoulders. You know, you can keep everything in line. My biggest thing, and he knows it, when I would line up, I would have my feet squared one way and my shoulders squared the other way. And I could never tell the difference. Now, even Big uses their hat, the squared hat, to help. So when you look down, you could actually see square from hat, square from the shoes. So it's helping. I mean, however Bob did it, because Bob is one of the most intelligent guys.
We got to know him on a personal level, and oh my God, this guy is smart.
He research. When he wants to accomplish something, there's nothing he's not going to do it. He wants to do it right. He wants to do it perfect. It's not about anything but having it right and being exactly what he wants as a golfer himself. You know what I mean? He's a golfer just like the rest of us. No, maybe an 8 handicap, maybe a 10 handicap he might be, but he's just like the rest of us. And for him to bring it where we're seeing it now on tour, we're watching PGA like, hey, that guy has a pair of squares on. You know what I mean? These are the testaments. Anybody that tries these shoes, I think I've seen twice on social media, guys, I swing too fast. I do this. I was like, there's no such thing. We know guys who drive tour that are champions, and they're wearing shoes. They tried shoes. No, it's not the shoe that you're too fast for. I don't believe that's such a thing. But the shoes are proven to work, plain and simple. Yeah. I want anybody should go and try. I wish they had more places to try. Bring your shoes, Go into a whatever, Dick's or whatever. Hit your shoes, then put on a pair of SQAIRZ and hit the same shots and see what you're going to see. A better performance on your ball. You're going to pick up ball speed and you're going to pick up distance. I can't see it not happening. I don't know how anybody couldn't.
What you're trying to do in the game of golf is you're trying to increase probability. Okay, It's like, we all hit great shots, but it's the bad shots that we've got to minimize and take control over. So by that virtue, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get more probability in your game. So, so relative to the square toe, if you can just subliminally look down and see kind of like, oh yeah, my toes are lined up. That's one less thing you've got to think about. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Then everything can go to your feel, go to your shot shape, go to everything you want to do. Whether it's the Egyptians building the pyramids or whatever it is, you've always used a straight line to get your bearings, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
So why are all of these other golf shoes shaped like a torpedo nose? Yeah. Right. It doesn't work, man.
Right.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm. So we only have like 90 seconds here left on this segment.
This went too fast.
Nick, I just want to say thank you for all the information. But lastly, we know and we read that you're going to be a part of giving tips on SQAIRZ.com. How is that going to be facilitated?
There's going to be 3 ways. Number one, on SQAIRZ.com. The second way is going to be on my website, which is bradleygolf.com. And thirdly, I post all of these on LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. So if any one of your listeners go to LinkedIn, and start to follow SQAIRZ, you will see it on there every week.
Now, for somebody like me, can I go, hey, I need your help on SQAIRZ?
You can do. So apart from all those 3 that I've just given you, you can also follow me on Twitter at the Nick Bradley, and they get posted right there too.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's what you need. We need Nick Bradley in our lives along with our shoes. So we got the shoes. Now we just need to change that probability that we're not going to hit those bad shots.
You know what? I don't think I've met anyone who said they didn't need Nick Bradley in their lives. You know what I mean?
I need you, Nick. I need you, Nick.
We need you, Nick. Absolutely. Nick Bradley, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us here on Big's Golf Talk. We're going to have you on again and talk more golf with the listeners on here.
This thing went too fast.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More Big's Golf Talk coming your way right after this.
Have you ever seen a tour pro line up a putt with a dirty ball? No way. A clean ball rolls accurately, and accurate putts mean lower scores. The solution? Ready Putt. It's the putter cover reinvented. Ready Putt has a patented ball cleaner that's made to absorb and retain water. All you need to do is add water, and it remains wet throughout your round, giving your ball the perfect shine. It also has a magnetic surface to hold your ball marker and divot repair tool. Let's say you switch putters from round to round using a blade, mid-mallet, or large mallet. Ready Putt Original has you covered. Look, putting is hard enough. Accurate putts start with a clean ball, and a clean ball starts with Ready Putt.
For more information about Ready Putt, visit ReadyPutt.com. That is ReadyPutt.com. Clean it and sink it. The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is searching for the country's best 2-player teams to compete against an international field in the 54-hole Ryder Cup-style event, known prestigiously as the International Kings Cup. The International Kings Cup is played in remembrance of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer, whose honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence represent the ideals for which the game of golf is known. The road to the Kings Cup begins with a national qualifier. 2-player teams compete in an 18-hole qualifier playing best ball using net scoring. For more information, to sign up, and to find a national qualifier near you, their website is usgolfchallenge.com. That is usgolfchallenge.com.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, proud PGA member. Patriot Golf Day has raised over $50 million to provide educational scholarships to our military families. This Labor Day weekend, September 3rd through the 7th, play your most heroic round benefiting 2 great organizations, the Folds of Honor and PGA Hope. Visit patriotgolfday.com to find a participating course near you. This is your call to duty.
This is Big's Product of the Week. Each week, Big John and the Golf Father select a golf product to feature. Here is Big John Vick and Bill, the Golf Father Cuevas, with this week's Product of the Week.
Big's Product of the Week is sponsored by the U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Handmade Vodka. You must be 21 years of age to enjoy a great Tito's beverage, and friends don't let friends drive drunk. And Billy, our product of the week is the Golf Logix Green Map Books. Founded in 1999, Golf Logix is the world leader in golf GPS technology. They were the first to introduce handheld GPS to the golf industry and holds a patent on wireless golf GPS. Golf Logix has been professionally mapping golf courses for over 12 years and is proud to have the largest, most up-to-date golf course database in the world. All their maps have been verified by millions of rounds of golf played by their members. And through 2005, Golf Logix developed proprietary software and maps for a Garmin co-branded handheld GPS device that was featured at thousands of prestigious golf courses all around the world. In 2006, the USGA and the R&A officially sanctioned the use of golf GPS, and many companies scrambled to develop GPS solutions for golfers. But Golf Logix was already there. In 2007, the company launched the Golf Logix GPS 7 handheld waterproof consumer unit, and based on the company's mantra of keep it simple, it was adopted by golfers around the world with incredible success. Golf Logix followed up with a launch of the GPS 8 unit, including a full 30-minute TV commercial campaign featuring Gary McCord and Peter Costas, which captured the attention of millions of golfers worldwide. Today, the GPS 7 and 8 units still lead the pack in being the most reliable and easy-to-use golf GPS ever produced. In 2009, seeing the rapid advances in smartphone technology, Golf Logix quickly captured the market with a golf application that provides precise GPS distances, plus keeps scores and tracks stats, and uploads them to their online clubhouse community where golfers can share and compete with millions of golfers worldwide. Now available for over 60 million different smartphone models, with new phones being added monthly, the Golf Logix Golf GPS application has become the #1 golf app across all smartphones. Well, in 2020, they decided to add something else to their repertoire, and they are green books. And green books, I have one right here. Our guest right now to talk about these is Pete Charleston. And Pete, so why did I make this Big's Product of the Week, this green book? I'll tell you what, when you order this green book, a lot of people don't have these leather books to keep their books, their yardage books in. Well, I like the fact that they actually, it's a lamination plastic here that the book comes in. It actually gives you instructions on how to read the maps, and step-by-step instructions. Colors it tells you the colors on the green indicate the percentage of slope. And so you select the course that you want mapped, and you could shop the green books at golflogix.com. It also allows you to record what your shots do on each club. But what I like about this is more of a handheld for your particular course. So if you're a member at a course, or you have a tournament coming up, this is a handheld thing physically, and you don't have to worry about your smartphone, essentially. Am I right?
But you also have the option to use it. If you want to use your smartphone, you can, because some people are into technology. But I actually like using the book better. Because one, like you said, it keeps me away from my phone. And being what we do, there's too much information on my phone. So when I pick it up for one thing, I notice that my child called from Seattle. I'm seeing that this company wants an answer for this. I'm supposed to be working on that. So you get thrown off, and it gives you too many different things that you don't want to focus on while you're playing. The book, you pick it up, and all you have to do is focus on that. I don't have to touch my phone. I really don't have to look at my phone unless I want to look at my phone. So I'm going to stay on the air side for the book, instead of using the app. But you can use the app if you're a digital guy.
I'm in a golf league, and I utilized the book to tell me what the greens are doing at that particular course. And they're true. The information they provide on these maps are extremely accurate. I mean, not even slightly off. It's right on point.
They are. I'm going to ask you a question, then we're going to ask Pete to fill in the rest of it. What are the two biggest things that you feel you have improved in by using your book?
Putting and game course management.
Bingo. Those are the two biggest things that I improved in. One, getting it closer to the pin, because when you're trying to read it, you look at your book, you know where you're at, you see where the arrows are going, you can determine the speed. I mean, the only thing, like with the golf course, you have to take into consideration, did they mow the lawn? Did they roll the greens? So the speed might be a little bit off, but you have a better judgment of what's happening within the green. So you're going to be a lot closer and eliminate the 3 putts. So those are the two things that.
Well, essentially, you can judge the speed of the green for the day by taking 10 putts on the practice green. So that therefore now you're prepared, right? The other thing about the green book, you don't ever have to worry about the battery giving out on it.
Exactly. You never have to worry about that and stuff like that. So now we need to ask Pete. Pete, from all the feedback that you had and knowing your intentions by coming out with this book, what were the two most important things that you guys were looking for to accomplish by making these books?
Well, I was laughing. Someone said this the other week. We almost went back to the future, right? Here we are, this software company. We were a hardware device company, and then we switched and we became a software company, and had this app, incredibly successful, 5 million users with Golf Logix. But there was this group of people that kept harassing us, saying, dumb phones. I don't want to take my phone. But we came out with this amazing putting technology. And my partner and I were like, God, how do we give them something they can use and not feel A, threatened by technology, or B, they want to get away from technology and just be out on the golf course. So we actually created this green book, this hard copy green book, just like the pros use. It's rules compliant for the USGA. You can use it for any competition, and it just goes in your back pocket. And like you said, it's not beeping at you. It's not going to run out of batteries. You pull it out. And the beauty of it, and you guys already talked about it, when you walk on that green, and we'll get into more details later how you use it in other situations, but when you walk on that green, there is no longer, you're not guessing. With certainty, the putt is going left or right to left, and if it's going uphill or downhill. Now, is there an art to reading it? Absolutely. So when people say, you're taking away the art of the game, no, you're not. You have to learn how to read this, but at the very least, you will not miss on the wrong side of the hole, that changes the way you play golf.
Yeah, because what do you hear? Oh, you missed on the amateur side. Right. You missed on the pro side.
Right.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I missed.
Yeah.
I don't care if I missed on the amateur side, the pro side. I just want to be closer. And when I do miss, I want to make sure I have the easiest putt to make. Because, sometimes when you miss on the wrong side, you're going to pay the price. We've seen guys miss a putt, and all of a sudden you go from 6 inches, you're further away because that ball now hit that spot, those arrows, as we see in the book, and that hot spot, and your ball just goes bye-bye. So you want to try to avoid those things, and that's what the book can show you, avoiding those extra spots where you're going to see where you're going to hit a hot spot and it's going to take off. And a lot of people, when you do, I want you to explain to our listeners how the different colors, how the different arrows going in different directions with the elevations work for us.
Well, first of all, we've made it super easy to use. So whether you're, 25 or whether you're 70, we made, I'm 50, right? So my eyes are starting to go, the close-up stuff. So it's peak tested, right? We're actually able, you can see those arrows. They're big, huge, they're bold. And then we've also added what's called the heat map. And what the heat map does, is it really calls out the areas of the green that are really slopey. So when you're seeing red, orange, yellow, those are, kind of your 6, 7, 8 slope part of the greens, like really steep. And then as you get down and you see the blue and white, that's where, hey, these are pretty straight, flat putts. So it really calls out whether you're on your approach or you're chipping or you're putting, the areas that you need to be careful of.
Well, I actually used when I use the heat map part of it and your putt break, which you'll be able to explain next. When I look at the hole and I say, okay, I got a nice white spot right up there. That's my flat spot. That's where I'm going, because that's going to give me a better direction. I want to hit within that. I want that to be my center focus. Get it within that white spot, so I don't have to worry about if my ball lands. It's not going to go off this way. It's not going to go off that way. It's going to give me my best chance to make my putts if I can get to that, particular area. So that's what I use it for. But can you tell us a little bit about the putt break? Because it's 2, and you do have the bigger arrows on top with the blue and the red and tell you the slope, not the slope, but how fast it's going to come down. What's the purpose of the putt break?
It just gives you just a little more detail. So I generally use the heat map when I'm making my approach, as you just mentioned. I think you mentioned earlier, course management, right?
Yes.
So when you're making that approach, and if you haven't played the course before, really big deal. You got this pin and you're like, oh, what does this green do? Well, you have to aim for those areas that give you the straightest, flattest putt. Sometimes you just can't go for a pin on your approach.
Exactly.
Or you end up bogeying or worse. So, you get up there, you hit it up on the green, and then I generally walk up, I walk my ball, I mark it, I pull out the book, I rotate the book, right? So, that's my view. Okay, yep, now I see what I'm looking at. There's that bunker in the back. And I use the heat map to kind of orient myself. Oh, there's the mound. Oh, yep, I'm right below this little ridge. And then I just kind of slide my finger down where the black and white arrows that are really easy to see. That's what really shows you, it's almost like you open up this key to putting.
Absolutely.
You see this view and you see the arrows. Oh, yep, arrows are going slightly downhill, moving to the right. Okay, no matter what, it's a left to right putt. If you just have that, you're going to save a lot of strokes.
And you know what I do? When I look at the putt break, I know the listeners can't see it, but the difference between the heat map and the putt break, you have more arrows. You have more arrows off of the green. So people like me, if they have the pin tucked in the corner, I want to know if I hit this ball too hard, do I want to miss short or do I want to go long? Because I know, like, if you look at the putt break, if you miss long, it's showing you're going to keep going. It shows those arrows going down and going away from the green. So those help when you see that you got a potential, especially when you see that the ball's going towards the bunker. So if you miss, you don't want to end up from the green to the bunker. So it does help with the putt break area that you get to read those as well. So that was one of the things I picked up. So it helps me play a little smart. I'm not saying totally smart. I'm not a genius yet, but it makes me play smarter. But I think along with those greens and watching those white spots, you're forced to play to your strength. So like Biggs and I was both, and we didn't even talk about it until this segment. We both knew what we liked, but we never discussed it. But I think the people that I've been playing with, they've been following my lead. They're not playing, where you're on a 300-yard par 4 and you want that birdie. They're putting their drivers away. They're playing that 170 in so you can play to your strength of what you want. Like me, 100, 120 is my perfect shot. I love it. I love 100 or 120. Anything in between there, I'm good. You start putting me in that 50, 60, and it's too much.
Hard.
And I'm like, not too much thinking, too much wedge. Biggs likes it that way. Biggs is good with
when I'm talking about course management, I'm talking about utilizing this book because the green book will tell you where your 150 mark is, where your 125 and where your 100 mark is, and that's what I like about it because now, okay, I'm going to say I need to hit it 225 to be at 125 and give me a wedge in.
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore, not all the time do you need a driver.
No, and that's what I'm saying. What people are putting it in there, and like the guys that I play with, in the beginning, they're like, "Oh, look at Bill now. He's trying something new out again. Look at Bill. And now they're like, okay, we're looking at Bill. Now we're doing that. No, we're putting out things. So like there's one particular hole at Babes of Harris. It's the 4th hole. It's an easy hole, but you hit it too long, you're too close to the green. And now they're like, nah, we're going to put the big stick away. We're going to play smart. And that's the thing. When you start playing smart, you're going to drop strokes. When you start playing to the green, you're going to drop strokes because
all right. Okay, listen. Let's never mind what Billy wants to do with the book. Never mind. Let's give some more information from Pete, because I know Pete has some more information on how to utilize the green book to its most potential. And Pete, you mentioned earlier there is some more information that a green book can be used to maximize the potential of the green book. What is that information?
Yeah, I use it certainly on the approach. You know, when I walk up to my ball and that approach, and let's say I'm 160 out, I'm looking at that approach view, that heat map, and you see that pin. And generally the pin, because it has to be in a relatively flat place, you're going to generally see the pins in more of a kind of white, blue, and green. But you've got to look around and see, oh, wait, there's a ridge over to the right. Oh, or I'm staying away from that back right pin placement. Wow, if I miss, you know, I've got a lot of trouble. So that's where I really use it. And I think one of the underutilized things when you have this type of green contour data is when you're chipping or pitching. You know, most amateur golfers stand up, they look at the pin, and then they chip at the pin. They're so caught up in chipping and trying to get the ball there, or chipping over a bunker or whatever, that they forget about there's break, right? And so they actually hit the perfect chip shot, and they aim right at the pin, but it breaks 5 feet to the left. And next thing you know, you have a 15 or 18 foot putt, even though you had a great chip. So the book really helps you understand what you're doing when you're chipping. And then, I mean, we've all talked about the green. I mean, I literally, if you combine those 3 things, I think there's 5 to 7 strokes out there for the average golfer on rounds to save. I mean, it's the confidence that you putt with when you know the break with certainty. It's hard to even define.
It is.
Absolutely. Pete Charleston, how can people find out? And I'm looking at this right now. You guys have over 216,000 greens mapped around the world and more added every day. How can people find their green book today?
So if they go to golflogix.com, and it's Logix, and then it says shop green books on the top, and you can simply type in your course. If we have it done, we've got almost 14,000 courses done in the U.S., so there's a good chance we have your course done. If not, there's a request a course button, and then it goes into our queue, and we get to it as soon as we can. But we've got a lot of courses done. I think you guys mentioned earlier, but it's $40 for the green book. But it goes in your back pocket. The pages are waterproof and tear-proof, and we actually included that. It's almost like a passport cover that further protects it. Yep. But it is a great book. It'll save you strokes out there, and it'll help you putt a lot more confidently.
Golf
and yes,
Logix.
Guys, I'm sorry, Biggs. I just want people to know that when you buy those books, in addition to those plastic binders, they will fit in your own personal yardage book covers.
Right. Yes. Golf Logix. Play smarter. GolfLogix.com. Logix is how you spell Logix. GolfLogix.com. The phrase of the week. Biggs phrase of the week. Play smarter.
I like it. It makes them write more. I thought you were going to go with Golf Logic.
No.
Logically, I was wrong.
Pete Charleston, it's always a pleasure having you here on the show, and always great having a conversation with you.
Yes.
All right, boys. Hey, hope you get out and play some golf without that damn mask on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Biggs. That's a horrible thing.
All right, well, that does it for Biggs Golf Talk right here. For Bill the Golf Father Cuevas, for Amanda the Golf Diva Robertson, I'm Big John Quick. And until next week, everybody,
you matter.
It's Saturday morning. We're gonna play golf. The wife is moaning. We're gonna play golf. The kids are all screaming like someone's gonna die. The grass needs mowing.
the boys are cold, so we're gonna play golf. Golf course, here I come.